Hey guys, welcome to a special edition of my strap search. Normally I go through $500 worth of singles when I do the searches. Today I'm going to do 1,000, and if you've read the title, you already know why I chose the number 1,000. I already went through the singles, so we'll get to what I found in a second. What I want to do is, I want to show you this strap right here. You can clearly see that when this strap came from the bank, it came with 4 others, and they were rubber banded together, and you get that rubber band mark that sticks out so clearly like that. You can see it clear as day. That does damage the bills when you see that. You can see there's even a tear in this particular bill right here, right where the rubber band was. What you want to do is whenever you get straps that are rubber banded, you want to take those straps and put them face down, and you want to put a book or something extremely heavy on top and let it sit there for a while. Let it sit there for a couple days or so, just to help flatten everything out. This was a lot worse than what you're seeing here. I've gotten it to lay down this flat. It was much more splayed before I started doing that. So anyway, that's just a simple tip to help you guys with your bills. Put them under a heavy book, if you still have books, and that'll help flatten the bills. So I'm going to get those out of the way, and we're going to see what I found. Quite a few bills in this pack, so this may be a little bit longer, but I'll get through them as quickly as I can. Found a couple trinaries. This one here, all 7s, 1s, and 0s. Another one, this one is another trinary, 1s, 7s, and 4s. Just the 1 4 there, so close to a binary. 1s, 3s, and 7s, once again, 1 short of a binary. I think that's why people collect these trinaries, just because they are so close to being a binary. Part of the reason I go through all these is just to show you how tough it is to actually find some of the bills that people talk about on other channels. I've shown what I've found. These are honest searches, obviously. I've shown the things that I've collected in the past, so you know what to look for. But doing this shows you what you can truly expect to find. Like I said, this is out of 1,000. These aren't in the greatest of shape. There are a couple that are good. This one here is real crisp. All 1s, 3s, and 0s. I did find another Where's George bill. Where's George is a website you can go to and put in the serial number of the bill and see where it's been. It's a tracking project. There's debate as to whether or not you're supposed to write anything on bills or defacing bills, whether it's legal or not. So I don't recommend writing anything on a bill. But if you stumble across a bill that's got something written on it, you didn't do it, so no harm, no foul. Might as well see where it was. Did find a couple quads. This is an older one from 2003. Quad 0s on that one. Another quads. This one is from 2009. And what's cool is that the quad 0s started, so it's an extremely low number. The only thing is it's from the S series. San Francisco is the L. They printed 100 million of these, then turned the A to a B and printed another 100 million, B to C, and so on down the line till they got to S. But still, finding a low number like that out of any of the runs is pretty neat. Quad 9s on this one. Bunch of star notes in this. I can fan through these fairly quickly. Nice crisp star note here. When you see 2 0s on a star note, that gives you a little bit of hope that there may be some extra value in these notes, because they may be lower print runs. If there's only 1 0, now you're talking a bill that could potentially have 3,200,000 buddies. But when you've got the ones that have 2 0s or more, then you're talking something that may be worth a little bit. That doesn't mean that these aren't worth anything, because they could have started a second run and short printed the second run. There's all kinds of sites that you can Google to find out the exact runs on star notes. Another crisp one here. Like I said, I found quite a few star notes out of this batch. I was happy. But when you're going through 1,000 at a time, you can find a lot more stuff. Another Star Note, New York. Dallas. This one's a little rough. Yeah, for the initial pull and for these videos, I pull out everything that I find, and then afterwards I narrow it down to what I'm actually going to keep and what I'm going to put back in circulation. This was an interesting note. At first, I almost bypassed it, and then I noticed that there's a 1, followed by 850, followed by 850, followed by a 1. So you've got the 1 as the bookends, and then you've got a repeater in the middle, 850, 850. Don't know if I'm going to keep it or not, but I thought it was neat, so I'd show it. Found some older bills. This is a rough one from 1999. 1999, also in rough shape. 1999, the worst of the three. And then I finally found one. First time in one of these videos that I was able to show one of these. This one's from 1977. It's a 1977A Chicago series. What makes this bill so cool is the fact that it's from the 70s. You can go to virtually any coin shop and buy $1 bills from the 60s. It seems that everybody saved bills from the 60s. This particular bill, or this particular style of bill, was developed in 1963. That was the first year that you're going to find a bill like this. And that's why I collect these, because they haven't changed since 1963, so you can actually find bills that old, and I have. But the bills that you have trouble finding are bills from the 70s. Like I said, everybody saved everything from the 60s because that was the new bill. But in the 70s now, well, everybody was used to it, so nobody thought they'd be worth anything. I'm not saying that they're worth a ton of money. I'm simply saying they are extremely hard to come across. You're more likely to come across a bill from the 60s than you are the 70s. So whenever I find one from the 70s, that gets me a little excited. So now to the reason why I decided to do 1,000 bills today instead of just the standard 500. This week from my special collection, I brought out my $1,000 bill. It's from the series 1934A. $1,000 bill, fairly low number, 00230166. Series right there, 1934A, 1934A. Showing Cleveland as the president. Federal Reserve note, the United States of America will pay the bearer on demand $1,000. Got a little bit of dirt on it. Not exactly a perfect bill. However, these bills have been taken out of circulation starting in 1969. In 1969, they took out the $500 bill, they took out the $1,000 bill, the $5,000 bill, and the $10,000 bill. All of those bills were in circulation, and when they were turned into the banks after 1969, they were sent to the Fed and they were shredded. So these bills are getting tougher and tougher to find. I'll show you the back. You can see it's got a lot of rust spots on it. So somebody had this in a paper clip. Somebody else scribbled in the upper corner over here. But yeah, the paper clip marks right there are kind of obvious from the rust. But still, a $1,000 bill nonetheless. Now, what drives me crazy is this was printed, like I said, 1934A, series of 1934A. What would you be doing with $1,000 in 1934? Or 5,000? Or 10,000? I remember in the early 70s, you could buy a car for $2,000, and it's in the 70s. So what are you doing with a $1,000 bill or a $5,000 bill back then? Nowadays, it's a little different. Nowadays, people do spend $500 at a time, $1,000 at a time. Some of you may be viewing this on a phone that's worth more than this bill. But the Federal Reserve still decided that they were going to get rid of all the large denomination bills and make us carry handfuls of cash. So I think they did that to prevent counterfeiting. They did it to prevent, to help fight the battle against drugs and stuff like that. But I mean, nowadays we could actually use something like this, a $500 bill or a $1,000 bill. Anyway, that's what I've got this week, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later.